New AP basketball poll has just dropped. Let's take a look. For the first time since 1999, Miami of Ohio is ranked. They're 18-0 on the season. Are they being slept on? No major victories in quad one for them, but they have been playing some good basketball. Love to see St. Louis in this spot. 17-1 this season, just beat Richmond pretty bad, 88-63. This season they are led by Robert Avila, who's averaging 12.8 points per game. Louisville, still fortunate to obviously be ranked in the AP poll after, losing the game to Virginia. They started that game down 14-0. Did rebound, however, and McNeil was balling out for them, or McNeely, was balling out, had 23 points in that game against Virginia, but was too little too late. Now, obviously, Louisville's been dealing with a whole bunch of injuries. Guys that have been in and out of the lineup throughout the year, unfortunately for them. But that's a part of the game. Ryan Conwell is their leading scorer. Obviously they've been missing Mikael Brown Jr., who was the freshman phenom. Hopefully they'll get back healthy, but they sit at number 23. Number 22, North Carolina had a tough week, loss on the road to California, 84-78. Defense looks like it's giving them some problems. Haven't really been the same. 2 L's this week, and they got an even tougher one on Saturday when they play against Virginia. Another ranked matchup. Georgia, to me, I don't know what we're doing at 21-20. Why wouldn't Georgia be ahead of Arkansas after beating them head-to-head? You look at the records, and to me, it looks a little bit biased. Say what you want about Georgia. Georgia has a number of big-time wins on their resume, some quad one wins as well. Arkansas is 13-5. Georgia is 15-3. Got to put some respect on Georgia's name. I know they lost to Florida. I know they lost a game here or so, but they did rebound good against Arkansas. Deserve to be ranked ahead of them, in my humble opinion. How about them Kansas Jayhawks and Darren Peterson? Major win this past week when they obviously upset Iowa State, who fell majorly. Number 2 team in the country, all the way down to number 9. Just goes to show you how deep the Big 12 is, and you can never sleep on Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks. Now, Clemson is a really good basketball team that nobody's talking enough about at number 18. They are led this season by R.J. Godfrey, who's averaging 12 points per game, and he's shooting 64% from the field, and also Justin Porter. Both have been phenomenal so far this year, but we're going to learn a lot about Clemson. This upcoming week, they play NC State and Georgia Tech. Now, Alabama survived. They dropped 2. They've won their past 2 games, beating Mississippi State pretty handily by 15 points, but they barely squeaked by Oklahoma in that victory. Nonetheless, we know how good of a team they are. LeBaron Fallon, 22 points per game, and Aiden Holloway has been massive as well with 17.7 points per game this year. So they've been playing good, and shout out to them. Now, Florida, Todd Golden has turned around. They struggled early on in the season, but he had 3 AP wins this past week, or 3 ranked wins this past week. So that obviously elevated the Florida Gators and has put them back into the top 25. Looks like a tournament team that's starting to figure it out. Now, after starting 16-0, Vanderbilt has kind of fell off a little bit. 2 straight losses, a big game coming up tomorrow night when they play Arkansas. A chance to get an AP top 25 win and a quad one win over the Arkansas Razorbacks. But it's going to be big for them because they got to win that game. Led this year by Tyler Tanner. He's averaging 17.4 points. And also Duke Miles, who's averaging 17.3. Really good backcourt for the Commodores. Now, Virginia, I think, is slightly being disrespected. I would rank them a little bit higher. That's just my humble opinion. You go on the road in 2 hostile environments, beat Louisville, beat SMU, and only move up 2 spots. I think that's a little bit disrespectful. I think the Cavaliers should be ranked higher in the poll. Led by Chance Mallory, Malik Thomas had a great week, 23 points in the win this past week against SMU, and also had 19 points on the road against Louisville, hit 6 threes in both of those games. He has been dynamite. Really good overall team with the Cavs. They're going to be a team to watch in the ACC, and I think they can challenge Duke for that ACC crown. BYU, we know where they have AJ DeBonce, the really good big man. Also decent guard play. They dropped the game this week, but I just still think they're a top 15 team. Now, Texas Tech has looked good, 3 consecutive victories, and they actually beat BYU this past week, 84-71, which they trumped them. That's the part I don't understand. How does Texas Tech trump BYU, but Georgia doesn't trump Arkansas with a better record? Doesn't make sense. The math not mathing to me. Nonetheless, they've been led by JT Toppin and obviously their star guard, Christian Anderson. Anderson is averaging nearly 20 points per game, and Toppin's averaging 21.6. That duo has been dynamite all year for the Red Raiders. Illinois is number 11, solid ranking for them. I think they got a pretty good basketball team, well-rounded, and really good in the front court. Michigan State, top 10, 16-2 this year, have played well, led by Jackson Caller. I think a team that could be dangerous come tournament time. Don't be surprised you see them get to an Elite 8. Really well-rounded, good depth, good bench play, all that good stuff. Iowa State, the jury's still out, 17-1. I still want to see what they're going to be able to do. I'm hoping off ranks, struggled against Kansas on the road. I get it, Big 12, late night. I understand. I still want to see what they can do. The Zags are the Zags. Number 8 look like a really good team. Now, a team that's underrated is the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Like, it's time to put some respect on their name, what they've been doing this season. They've been balling out, 18-0. number one in Big Ten, but they got some major games coming up, right? They're going to get a chance to show how elite they are. They got Michigan on the docket, Illinois, and Purdue coming up in the early month of February. So that's going to give us a good test to see how good they are. This year, led by Price Sanderford, pretty good player. Houston is Houston, got one of the best coaches in college basketball, really deep team, brought back the majority of their roster. They're going to always be dangerous. Duke, man, Duke's handling business, 17-1, only one loss this year. And remember, that loss was on a neutral court, obviously, to Texas Tech Red Raiders. We all know they have the best player in the country in Cameron Boozer, averaging 23.2 points per game. But the big key piece I kept telling y'all last year was Isaiah Evans. He's playing more. He's starting. He's playing significant minutes. He's a lightning strike, man. He's waiting to pounce. But overall, man, they got depth. They got good defenders. They got guys that can come in and contribute off the bench. Caden Boozer's starting to kind of come into his own and be that scoring punch they need. And you can never forget about Caleb Foster as well. Purdue is Purdue. We'll see, man. You know the metric stick for them and Matt Painter. It all comes down to what do they do in the NCAA tournament. Year after year, they have great shooters, great players, great big men. Can they win in March is the biggest question. Michigan does look like a good team. Yaxel Landenberg has been phenomenal this year. They look like one of the best teams in the nation. I like them at number 3. I actually will put them at number 2 over UConn. UConn struggled this past week against Georgetown. I know how Georgetown is, but they're 9-8 on the year. But I like what the Huskies have done this season. Not saying they're not a good team. Not saying Dan Hurley ain't doing the thing. He's doing his thing, but I still will put Michigan over UConn. Now, the consensus number 1 basketball team is the Arizona Wildcats. As they should be, they've been dominant all year. They have Koa Pete, true freshman, who's playing at a high level. They have Brandon Burries, Jayton Bradley, Toby Aqua, and Machadeus Krivas. They have 5 different scorers that are averaging double figures. That's going to help you come March because you have a very deep team. Now, people might start trying to slow down Koa Pete, but then you have Burries on the outside, right? You have guys that you could dump it down to in the post and cook. It's going to be very interesting, man. I think 2 really good teams. Can't wait to obviously see what happens with Arizona down the stretch, man. But this team is loaded, and Big 12 basketball is going to be fun, especially with Texas Tech being in there. You got to think about Kansas being in there, BYU. It's going to be some really good matchups coming up.